What's up, everyone? CryptoSavy here. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. I do believe we are going to go down a little bit further before a bounce. I'm going to show you my shorter term and my longer term in this, so definitely stick around. Don't forget, we have a free Discord group in the description below the video. Definitely check it out, guys. It's totally free. Awesome community, and let's get on with it. All right, guys, as always, I want to remind you I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, trading advice, or investment advice. There is a disclaimer scrolling on the bottom. Make sure you read it. And always remember, this is my opinion, not yours. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want daily updates every single day. And let's look into the news and kind of get a feel for the sentiment. Bitcoin price, Golden Cross, hints 170% rally, extremely bullish. Samsung is quietly becoming a major Bitcoin, crypto, and blockchain player. Craig Wright doubles down on his Satoshi claim. Come on, guys. If he was really Satoshi, don't you think he would have announced that when he first made the coin? Because just the kind of guy he is, he wants attention. Come on. Anyone that's believing that, I don't know. That's crazy. Bitcoin price dips below 9.5 as whale deposits 600 Bitcoin. Bitcoin climbs above 9,700, but here is why breakdown's still possible. So we have extremely bullish looking at the Golden Cross everybody's talking about, blah, blah, blah. Let's look at the Fear and Greed Index. We're at 53, so we raised 4 points from yesterday. We're still in the neutral zone. Bitfinex, BitMEX, and Binance. Total longs versus shorts. We have 64.55% longs and 35.45% shorts. Binance is the only one with lower longs than shorts, and Bitfinex and BitMEX both higher. So let's look at the monthly real quick. We've been taking a look at this. If you guys remember last month, we had said if we closed above the 92, that was going to be bullish. 92 seems to be holding as support. I do think that is possibly where we're headed to go test that 92, and I'll explain here in a little bit. Let's look at this possibility here. We could still be possibly going up to that 11.2, somewhere in that range, which is the 0.65 and 0.618 Fibonacci retracement zone before continuing down to the possible 7,800 to 8,800. Actually, I am starting to look at 7,300, and I'll show you why. I know it sounds bearish, but it is what it is, guys. Long term, I'm bullish as hell. I think it's going to be a great year, but I do think we have more retracement to go, and I will get into that. Let's look at the RSI also. So looking at the RSI on the weekly, as you can see, same trend lines I have in the price action up here. We could come up and test this top trend line, which, like I said, would be around 11.2, somewhere in that range. And that would invalidate my head and shoulders, or inverse head and shoulders theory, which I will show you that in a second. If we pass the 10.5, that invalidates it. But let's take a look at that right now. So here's my inverse head and shoulders theory that we've looked at for about 2 months now. Way back in here, we started looking at it as a possibility. And if you could tell, we have the neckline right up here at 10.5, which is where we did get rejected. Now, if we can come back up here and break this, this is invalidated. But guys, this could bring us all the way back down to, let me put this where it's supposed to be here. And put this one, I don't know how these got moved. I look at it on my phone a lot. Sometimes I move it on my phone, but right around that 7,300 would be the left shoulder, and then continuing back up. That is the worst case scenario, but I do believe that is pretty possible. And let's take a look at the daily. So looking at the daily, as you guys know, this up here is that golden pocket zone, the around 11,080 to 11,300, depending on where we would hit it. But I am still looking bearish right now in the short term. And that is because, as you can see, the EMAs are they're all turning bearish here and turning down. Now, the only way to stop that is if this daily candle, if we get a nice push up, which it doesn't look like we're going to be doing. Also, I'm going to point out real quick this. I have the Fibonacci retracement all the way from the swing low to the swing high here. And as you can see, the 0.382, which is right here, that lines up with the 90, around the 9280, 9300, somewhere in that range. That is where I think we could be headed. That would also retest the top of this trend line here within the next couple days. So keep that in mind. That is where I'm looking for a bounce, is around that 9280, and then possibly bounce up and then come back down much lower. We'll talk about that. Let's look at the daily RSI. This is another thing that goes along with my 9200 theory. And if we look at the RSI, we have the falling channel in orange here, then we have a rising channel in white, and we have this rising channel in blue, which we have fell out of. I do believe we'll come back down here and test the top of this falling trend line, which would line up with that 9200. That is what I'm still continuing to look at. And I'll show you another measured move that gets us there. Sorry guys, this is kind of messy, but we'll show you what's going on. I have this rising channel, or this rising wedge here in yellow. And right here is the measured move of the widest point of that wedge to where we broke down. And as you can see, gets us right to that 92.89 range. This is the 4 hours, so it could come all the way over here. This could take a few days to come down and test this 92.80 to 9300 range, which would also be this top trend line. And if you guys been watching, you know how I got these three trend lines on top. I just cloned this bottom trend line off of these wicks. I put one on each wick up here and had said that would be support and resistance on the way up, and it was. As you can see, each time we hit one of them, they are very significant. We had this target here at 94.33. It didn't quite hit yesterday. We hit about 94.55, somewhere in there. I'm going to go ahead and get that off of there now to clean it up a little bit. As you can see, also, I have this trend line here off of these wicks. When we broke through, we came back up and tested that. The EMAs on the 4 hour are bearish, guys. They've all crossed now, so I do think we're headed down towards at least this 92.80 to 9300 range. Now, I could be wrong. We could pop all the way back up to the 10,050 before continuing down. As you can see, this trend line here on this falling broadening wedge. So keep that in mind. It is possible to get up to around that 1050. I'll put a target there, but I don't believe that's going to happen. But what I think is going to happen and what Bitcoin wants to do are two totally different things. But that's what I'm looking at now. I do think we're heading down towards this 92.89 range. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Let's look at the RSI on the daily. As you can see, I have a white trend line drawn here. It looks like we could have the one more touchdown here, but as you can see, I had this rising, I guess you could call it a ascending triangle in the bigger picture on the 4 hour here, but I also drew another trend line off of the bottom here. If we came down to retest this bottom trend line, that's going to line up pretty well with that 92, possibly the 89. As you can also see, these dotted lines I have here, the rising broadening wedge, that also would line up with that 9280 to 9300 range to test the bottom of that. If that fell through, that would be pretty bearish, guys, and I will show you my target for that. And that is, if we take a Fibonacci retracement from our swing low down here to our swing high up here, which I believe is a completed 5 waves, which makes a wave 1, and wave 2 could bring us all the way down to the 7,300 here. What the 7,300 is the golden retracement zone from the bigger swing here. So keep that in mind. Also, if we looked at just this swing low to this swing high, our golden pocket zone is right around the $8,000 zone. But like I said, the 73 is the golden pocket of the bigger move from last year. Also the 0.786 from this move. So that, guys, this is looking more and more likely to me, that 73. And again, we do daily updates, so make sure you subscribe to the channel to get updated every single day on this channel and tick the notification bell. Also, If you guys are interested in trading, I'll leave a Bybit tutorial up top. We're going to take a look at LITECOIN now. Same thing in LITECOIN, guys. As you can see, our EMAs, I'm going to only look at this in the 4-hour, have turned bearish. They've all crossed down here. 55 EMA was our resistance. And these are the Fibonacci retracements of this whole move here. And we've already broke through, again, the 0.236. The next one's a 0.382, which is 65.87. I think we go lower than that, guys. And that reason being, the measured move off this rising wedge to where we broke down is right around that $60 range, which is also the 0.5. If we blow through that, we're looking at the 54.71. Worst case, 0.786, like in Bitcoin, is 46.50. But I will be expecting a bounce right around here at the $60 range, possibly come back up to the 72, and then for one more push down. So this is definitely possible, guys. Keep it in mind. Like I said, we will be updating daily. Don't forget to hit the likes and leave your comments down below also. It really helps the channel out. And let's look at Ethereum. Same thing with Ethereum, guys. Ethereum's actually looking a little bit stronger. We're bouncing off the EMAs here. But this is the 4-hour. Let's take a look at the daily real quick before okay, yeah. So as you can see, it is looking pretty bullish. We're still above the 8 EMA on the daily here. We had our golden cross of the 55 and the 200 way back here, but I do think we'll come back down to this area to test this. Let's go back into the 4-hour. And looking at the 4 hours, you can see on the RSI, we have more room to come down here. And my target on that is, if we looked at this as an ABC, guys, my target on that's around the 224. So that's the area I'm looking for right now for this to come back down and test. And that's also the 0.382 retracement of this whole move here. So 224 is where I'm looking for a bounce for Ethereum. And again, we will probably get the bounce and then come down even further. And my worst case for Ethereum is around the 154. And, you know, we could hit that the end of March. All of them lows that I showed you, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, the end of March would be the lows right before the halving, which would make a lot of sense. But again, we'll keep up on it, keep checking it out. Don't forget to click CryptoSavy logo above my head to get you subscribed to the channel. Tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Hit that all after you hit the bell. Also, give it a giant thumbs up. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Do you think we could go all the way down to the 0.786 on Litecoin, Bitcoin, and Ethereum? I'm curious to see what you got to say. All right, guys. Thanks a lot, and I'm out.